Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Loudmouth Radio Network, the launch of a new online radio show that is the hottest show covering all different types of topics that we want to make sure that you're able to hear, from empowerment to inspiration to entertainment. And tonight is also our first night for one of our network shows, The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins. And we're so glad this evening to be able to come to you live from the Loudmouth Radio studios. And we just want to let you know that we're broadcasting live via internet on blogtalkradio.com/loudmouthradio with 2 Ds. So make sure when you're typing in Loudmouth Radio that you put those 2 Ds in there. You also can connect with us on Facebook.com and look us up on Facebook.com/loudmouthonline and like our page. Feel free to post questions and comments on our Loudmouth Radio page on Blog Talk. And that way you can see all our upcoming broadcasts as we're bringing you 3 shows each week. And we're really excited about it. Universal Mind is one of our newest shows that's currently going to air each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you, all my people that are on the internet, they may not be on the phone live with us listening to the show, you can actually chat with us. So make sure you check us out on blogtalkradio.com to be able to speak with us or post questions or comments that you may have. Now, this program will be available for download and on demand on our blogtalkradio.com/loudmouth radio channel anytime after 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each Monday. Now, we want to make sure that everyone is able to connect with us. So if you're looking on Facebook or you've been reached out with Twitter, you can call in at 347-826-7520. And I'm just really excited about this. We want to make sure that people are aware of this actual show. You're in for a treat. If you have not had an opportunity to meet the gentleman that I'm going to introduce to you for the first time this evening, let me start and tell you that this brother's very deep. Not only does he have the mind of a mastery, I think he needs to be teaching some Zen or something like that. But I'm not going to let me be the one to tell it. I'm also let you hear him, true in fact, from his own voice. And I'm sure that as you guys start listening to his show, you're going to be encouraged. You're going to learn a lot of things. I hope that he brings just as much information to you as we have in our conversations, one-on-one as well as in groups. And this is the reason why Roderick Watkins is a part of his family online and on air with us, because he's got a lot to give. And this show is going to give you some things to make you think, and I hope that you'll find it deemed necessary to kind of have some self-reflection. That's what this show is really catering to do, to give you some personal development and some higher consciousness. So what I would love to do at this time is introduce to you your host, Mr. Roderick Watkins.
Good evening, and welcome to Universal Mind. Thank you so much for that introduction, Sonny. I'm your host, Roderick Watkins, and we're live with the new Loudmouth Radio Network, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And, Roderick, we are just so happy to have you here with us as a part of the team. And, what you have as a vision, I think people will start to find is much greater than we probably can even begin to put our minds around. But we just want to take this time to let you know that this show is sponsored by AtlantaCarFinders.com, Atlanta's #1 car referral service. They'll help you find your next ride. We help those with excellent and challenged credit. So visit online, AtlantaCarFinders.com, Atlanta's #1 car referral source. So, Roderick, how's your day been today?
My day has been great. Amazing, actually.
Wonderful.
And yours?
Mine it's been busy, very busy. I'm just excited to, I'm going to just basically, as we say, turn the mic over to you and let you do your thing. And definitely I'll be here online with you throughout the course of the show. And I know we have some guests. We got to keep people calling in and listening in to us already. So, Roderick, it's all yours, honey.
All right. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to Universal Mind. First, just to give you a little bit about the ideal about the show, is basically this show is about transformation science. And what transformation science is the study of different techniques from psychology to spiritual practices to scientific methods, anything we need to do to produce positive behaviors to manifest the life of our choosing. I know all of us, we deal with anxiety. Some of us deal with depression and different type of things. And, I just think that we have to understand that we're not necessarily alone when dealing with these things, and that this show is an opportunity, hopefully, to help point you in the right direction to resources that can, help you deal with some of the difficulties that you may be facing. When I speak of universal mind, a lot of the time we think of ourselves as just individuals going in this world alone or by ourselves, and we really don't feel connected too many times. But I'm here to tell you that you are not alone, and you are definitely connected to something larger. And that's what universal mind is about, is understanding that connection, understanding that universal connection, and realizing that that you are connected to a whole universe out there, and that any information that you need in regards to your desires, your wants, your dreams, that information is accessible to you. That information to be happy, whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, you have all that. You have all that within you, and hopefully, I'll be able to give you some of those techniques and resources to help point you in the right direction to access that knowledge. I think one of the main things is we're probably going to deal a lot also, or not probably, but we'll be also dealing with a lot of just understanding how much of our thoughts are negatively oriented, and trying to reframe those thoughts in a more positive mindset. And by doing this, hopefully you'll see that by changing your perspective on things, your views and your reality actually begins to change. So I look forward. Again, I'm happy that Sonny has asked me to come and speak on Loudmouth Radio, and I look forward to delving into this topic deep, more in depth with you. And so tonight, we're basically just going to talk about negative thinking and negative expectations. And for me, and maybe some of you can relate, when I grew up, my mom, she worked a lot, and so she didn't have a lot of time to invest in or to know what it was that was bothering me, or how to coax it out of me. And so in order to get me to behave like she wanted to, she may have used a lot of behavioral techniques that weren't necessarily the best, but they did what they needed to do at that time. And a lot of us, we carry those old methods of how our parents trained us into our adulthoods. But what we're finding out as adults is that some of these methods were really negative, and they aren't necessarily the best tools that we can use today in order to overcome, some of the obstacles or challenges that we face in today's world. We're now being adults or more mature people. It's up to us to consciously change our behavior or become aware of our behavior and how we interact into the world. And so I found that I had a lot of negative expectation, and I know that it may sound interesting to some of my friends who are listening and who know me, because they see me, I get a lot of comments on how I'm always smiling. But, we can hide behind a lot of different facets or aspects of our personality. And smiling and humor was one of those ways for me, so that people weren't aware of all the negativity that I was dealing with, or all the low self-esteem, or, just lack of confidence that I was dealing with. Well, today, what I realized is, or not today, but in my training as I grow, what I begin to realize is how what was my foundation set on? All these negative expectations that I had, and I wonder, why wasn't I getting as far ahead as I wanted to? there is nobody. I have a very good support system, and I don't think there is anybody in my support system who wouldn't think that I could do. If I made a suggestion or an idea, I always had the support there. Those people were there. But if I failed, I wondered where was that coming from, and I had to realize that it was me against myself, so to speak. I would not believing in myself, and I was wondering where is this coming from? Why is it that I can't overcome these obstacles like this? And I began to just realize all this negative thoughts in my mind, just almost like negative affirmations. And when I really started listening to the stuff that I was telling myself and actually watching my behaviors, I didn't realize that, I'm in my own way of my success. I'm the one that's blocking my success. And so a lot of my life I've spent to trying to unblock or get out of my way, so to speak, to allow my that infinite part of myself, that infinite potential that we all possess within ourselves, to actually allow that to grow and to come out. And I'm still a work in progress, and I'm inviting you on this journey of growth with me as I continue to get better as well. Let's see. So I'm seeing online, I know we have a couple of callers waiting to call in.
Sounds good, Rod. Sounds really good. I think one of the things that you just mentioned is, finding that perspective for yourself and trying to reach it. And, it's one of those things you just have to keep working at. It's not a one-day process. It's not a, something that you can just turn on or turn off, but you want to keep it as close to you as possible, as far as having positive affirmations and things of that nature.
I'm glad you brought that up, honey. It definitely is not something that happens overnight. And I think what we have to remember is that progress is progress, no matter how small it is.
Exactly.
And you have to take the time to, I think we can be or let me speak for myself. I know I can be very, very hard on myself and not give myself credit. If the progress wasn't big enough or if the achievement wasn't big enough, then I would assume that I'm not moving ahead at all. But,
right.
That's not true. You have to, pennies make up dollars, and then dollars make up more money. You have to look at it as money in the bank and that it's accumulating over time. And you'll find out, positive thought is interest earning. Because if you do things from a more positive perspective, not only does it gain, but I mean, just the things that come at you, it can be almost overwhelming. And one instance is this show right here. I used to do a blog similar to this online, a self-help blog, and so now I just feel like this is a continuation of that. So things can and do continue to grow or prosper.
Absolutely. What led you down this road yourself as you made the decision to kind of start providing these types of resources?
I joke, and I joke to my friends all the time. I am not, you said earlier, you thought that I was a very deep person, but I haven't always been the sharpest tool in the toolbox. And what I mean by that is I think I went the long way around of getting really just needing therapy myself. And so I went to school and I studied all these different things, but what I was really just seeking was answers. I was hurting inside in my youth for many different reasons, and as this show continues, I'm sure I'll reveal more of that. But it was just knowing that there was better out there, that there were I wasn't making the best decisions. Not that I could make better decisions than I was initially making. And so that's what I think really guides me. And we really don't have to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there are over, 3 billion, 4 billion people in this world. And, so a lot of times we see ourselves as these just lone individuals. I think the internet is just brilliant in regards to now we can contact all these different people, and so everybody can sort of find their niche, so to speak, or reach out and find people that have similar experiences in order to help them. And this is one of the reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing today. Is I just feel that any way that you can show somebody that they're not alone, or show compassion for somebody, because the world can be tough. The world can be tough, and true, we might bring a lot of it on ourselves, but that still doesn't mean that as human beings we can't show each other compassion while we try to figure this out to live our best lives, because I think that's what we all want, is just to live our best lives and to be happy.
I can understand that. Absolutely. So, Rod, tell us what you have as far as your perspective, as far as some of your guests and things of that nature.
Oh, yes, honey. So in the coming shows, we'll be doing, I think the next show we'll be doing is discussing meditation, actually. I'm actually doing Oprah and Deepak Chopra's 21-day challenge with a group of people, and so I'll have them on as some guests, and we'll go over the benefits of meditation and how that can help you in your everyday life, and how that relates to having that universal mind, another way of just expanding our consciousness, and again giving us other techniques in order to deal with obstacles. I also talk about this subject called connectedness. I mentioned the internet before, and as a vehicle of connecting us to other people with that have had similar experiences than we have. But this thing is the internet is sort of a physical manifestation of something that has already, in my opinion, has already existed. And what I mean by that is Carl Jung, a psychologist, he talks about it all the time, and he talks about this collective consciousness, and and that's what we are. We're not just individual consciousness. We're part of a collective of consciousness, and all the information within the universe is within that collective, and so we're just learning how to access it in different ways. And I think the internet is definitely one of those physical manifestations of this collective, or the collective consciousness being manifested physically. And so we'll talk about ideas like connectedness and just learning how to put things into the universe, and then seeing how the universe responds back to you, whether it be through people, persons, or places or things, and just really paying attention to those signals or communications that you're getting back, as well as looking at what you're putting into the universe. And then another topic after that, we'll definitely be getting more into positive thought and the power of affirmation. And I don't think that people realize how powerful our thoughts are in just regards to our own physical body. I mean, everybody has heard of things like the placebo effect, where people have spontaneously healed from diseases and different things like that. But we can have the brain is it just shows the untapped potential of the brain. and we can also negatively influence our bodies. Just very, very simple stuff like another thing my friends and family, they kid me about is my memory and me not wanting to or me not remembering certain things. And, I tell them all the time it's selective. I remember what I want to remember. But in truth, when we tell ourselves the same way you can tell yourself that you can do positive things, you can train your body to do negative things as well. So if you're looking for negative things to occur, then guess what? You're not going to recognize when positive things come into your life. You're only going to see those negative things that come into your life, and you really have to train yourself and be ready for the fact that and be ready to accept it when positive things are available to you. And I use this radio show as an example again. When you first approached me, Shawnee, I was very nervous about this, and I've spoken in front of people before, and I think I've done a lot of things to prepare me for this. But at the same time, I think if I wasn't in the mindset that I was today, I would not have seen this as the opportunity as it is today. And I just think we were talking about stepping stones and realizing that everything builds up, everything adds onto it. And I definitely feel that this is another one of those things that is building the foundation for greater things to come. And so I really appreciate this opportunity for this. And so I think we have time for questions from any callers or anything like that, Sonny. I don't know if we have it. Do we have any callers at this time?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Caller?
Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Roderick.
Hello?
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? And who's calling?
This is Jazzy.
Oh, hey, Jazzy.
Hi, I'm so excited.
I am too. I'm very excited too. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm actually sitting up here saying yes, amen to everything that you're saying. Just really excited to hear how you're going back into some of the things that, most of us hear all the time, and it's pretty much become cliche, but it's really the truth that we tap back to our earlier experiences, and those experiences have now affected our present. But then what I'm hearing you say is, although it may have affected it, it doesn't have to be a continual effect. And so I'm sitting here like, oh, my God, it's so true. It's so true. Where were you like 2 years ago when I needed total counseling?
I'm here now. And I think that, you say you brought up something that really just sparked something to me. And, I am not going to claim that anything that I'm saying is necessarily new or revolutionary. Like I said, we're a collective consciousness, so I think all this information is available. But what I have realized and what I am learning in my journey is that there still has to be voices for that information, and there still has to be reminders of that information, because sometimes we forget. I've read a lot of different books, and, still, like I said, my friends, they joke about my memory, but in truth, if you don't study something over and over again, eventually it fades. And so it used to be one of the excuses I used to hold myself back is that, I'm not telling anybody anything they don't know, or this stuff is very obvious. But I realize, that's my purpose and that's my role. My role is to remind people. Right. My role is to remind people of these things, and hopefully they do see it as common knowledge or common sense. I want it to be that easy for people to access, so that they feel that the resolutions to any issues that they are dealing with are that easy to overcome, that they realize that power to overcome that stuff is within them, and maybe they just forgot about it, or and something from this show has reinvigorated them like I have been reinvigorated. This is not my first time in regards to motivational speaking or talking to people about these subjects, but I definitely had what I would call a setback, and at first I didn't know how I was going to deal with it, but like I said, I have a great support system, and I'm sure I plan to have some of those people on as guests as well, so that you can hear basically the people that remind me or the people that teach me to be who I am. There's this, my friend told me this one good saying, says you are the 5 people that you are closest to. And it was so powerful when I heard that, because, when I hear myself speak, or, I want you to really just, one of the things we'll do in this program is really start just not just listening to ourselves, but listening to ourselves. And what I mean by listening to ourselves is watching your behaviors.
Right.
And as I really was watching my behaviors, listening to the words that I was using and how I was using, I could really identify who I was modeling myself after. And I really believe that saying now, that you are your 5 closest people, because they're constantly putting input into you, and they're probably close to you for that particular reason, because there's something within them that you see that you want to bring into your own life.
Exactly. That is powerful. That is very powerful. I can see that, and I remember saying at one point, I didn't use profanity at all, never did, and I read a lot. I was around a lot of people who, their vocabulary I was just amazed by, and I wanted to be in the same circle. So I did some of the same things that those people did, and then I got into a different circle, and my language started changing. So, not to say that that's bad or good, just different. But I can definitely see that. But I know, the things that you're saying are so impactful. And, I mean, just in the short time that you've been on, I'm like, wow, that is so impactful just for me. And I think that the important thing for all of us, we can all have similar shows, we can all shop in similar stores, we can do things that are similar, but each one of us are individual and unique. So no matter if you say the same thing repetitively that someone else has said, somebody needs to hear it just from you. And it's going to affect them in the way that it's supposed to for the moment. So even though I may have heard something that you have said tonight, the way you said it was just like, wow, just like what you just said, even though I felt it, just to hear it verbalized, it's like, wow, that is so true. And it'll make me pay attention to the 5 that I have around, or the few that I have around me, and watching how, I behave may be similar to somebody that's around me. So if I'm not okay, is what I'm hearing you saying, with what I'm doing, I may need to check those that are in my environment, or I need to get out of theirs, one or the other.
True. And I always believe the first place any place that you want to start with change, in regards to change, you start from within first and then go out. Although there is a branch in psychology that believes, if you change your environment, it impacts you on the inside. And I believe, I think we can borrow from all those things. But for me, I've always started from within and worked my way out first. And so I do look into myself to see, because I really do believe in this law of attraction in regards to what we put out, we get back. And I don't. Another thing that I want to do during this show is demystify a lot of these sayings and proverbs and words of wisdom. I think one of the things. I'll make a lot of correlations, or when I can, I'll actually try to have some type of proof as well in regards to how it actually works practically in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back to what you were saying as far as the reason why I start from within I say start from within because sometimes when we feel uncomfortable, we'll use that as an excuse to remove things that are necessary for our healing.
Yeah. Oh,
so I want to be clear about that is that even though I want things to be easy for us, I'm not trying to dodge. I'm not trying to dodge the healing aspect of what goes on with inside, and sometimes that's not always comfortable.
Right.
It doesn't have to be dodged. I want people when you see or when something becomes uncomfortable for you, I sort of want to demystify that and take the negativity off of that word uncomfortable, and so now that when people or after you listen to the show when people say that I'm feeling uncomfortable, I want that to trigger an aha moment, because usually when you're uncomfortable, it means that you're experiencing something that you haven't experienced before. And if you're trying to make change or if you're trying to do new things in your life, then that's the signpost that you want to look for. Now, I mean, you do have to make judgments, proper judgments to in regards to the consequences of those things, but again, I plan to turn. I plan to delve into being uncomfortable a lot. We're going to try to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and saying it's okay to be uncomfortable.
Right. Well, that makes sense because I know a lot of times just when you're working out, for instance, as an example, when you're working out, it's not comfortable, but you know what the results are going to be. So exactly. I think, if we can weigh out what the results of this uncomfortable moment are going to be, if it's going to bring us to our greater good, then it's okay.
Right. Yeah.
I love it.
And congratulations to you as well, Jazzy, on your new show.
Thank you, darling. Thank you so much. I know I'm all excited. I've had some people already call and say, hey, we get to talk about sex. I'm like, okay, but it's love, life, sex, and flowers. And one young lady said, okay, you can talk about flowers. I'm going to talk about sex. But anyway, darling, I'm going to let some other people call because I'm sure you have some people who are ready to kind of chime in and, give some feedback. So good luck to you, and I am listening and taking notes.
Thank you, Jazzy.
All right.
Hi, Sonny. So how are we doing? We got any more callers on the line?
Yes, you have a caller in queue.
Okay.
Hello. Hey, man, what's up? This is JL. How you doing, bro?
Hey, JL. Thank you so much for calling. Mr. King himself. Everybody, this is my mentor, JL King, and author of On the Down Low. Appreciate you calling in, brother. How are you tonight?
Thank you. I just want to say to you congratulations on you stepping out there once again to do some daring, big things as you reach higher for the stars and step out your comfort zone to really have your voice heard, not only on the air but on the stage as well as in the written word. As I've been listening to you tonight, it just took me back to the first time that I got introduced to the power of positive thinking and the power of affirmations was probably in 1970, probably before you were born, when I discovered the power of positive thinking by Dr. Vincent Norman Peale. And that was the book back in the day that really changed my way of thinking and living. It was the book that kind of made it very clear, because of the way he wrote the book, that you can speak, you can visualize, you can change whatever your circumstances is if you can just believe it and shut out all the negative thoughts that your mind, your mind is a battlefield anyway, and how if you just shut out all those negative thoughts, if you could just keep your eye on the prize, if you keep just telling yourself, what you want and how you see it and when you want it, and it works. I remember years ago when I wanted a new car, a new BMW, and at the time I wanted this car, I couldn't afford it, I didn't have no income, and just everything was against me. But I remember reading The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Pill, he said that no matter what you want, no matter what you see, no matter what the situation is, you can have what you want. I remember just saying to myself, I will have a BMW. I will have a BMW. I remember going to a BMW store and buying a BMW sweatshirt and a BMW keychain, and I can remember just seeing myself in the BMW. I remember taking a picture sitting in a BMW. And keep in mind, still no money, no credit, no good credit. No, nothing that would, in the conscious mind, would ever say, okay, you're going to get a BMW. But Dr. Pill kept saying, see it, claim it. Don't ever say it's not going to be yours. And do you know, my friend, that after a short period of time, I was driving that BMW that I envisioned in my mind because I already acted like it was mine. And even today, in 2013, 40, 50 years later, you are now on the air preaching the same message to a new generation. And I'm so proud, and I'm hoping that millions of people will tune into your show so they can understand how easy life can be if you just live, as my tagline is, faith over fear. And you can have whatever you want if you could just get that mind, man, that subconscious mind in control and really control it and really get to a place where if you use the power of it, your life could be so much more easier. And that's what I'm hearing from you tonight, is that some of those old principles and those old laws, you just bring it to this generation, and it's much needed, and I'm still learning from it, and I'm excited to hear you, and welcome to the Loudmouth family.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I received that. I definitely hope we all get 1 billion listeners. That would be great. I just want to touch on something that you said about, and me and Jazzy were talking about this before, if you heard the earlier caller, in regards to, as long as we're living, I think there is room for improvement and there is room for growth. So I do, one of the things I had to learn for myself, and now that's allowed me to be able to actually do this and come on here and do this, is the fact that, it has been said by people before me, and I'm sure it will be continually said, or I hope it will be, but this is it from my perspective, and I think that it deserves to be heard, that it deserves to be heard and it needs to be heard. And I'm okay to be one of those feedback, one of those feedback loops that are necessary. I think of all the negative stuff that I've heard in my life and everything like that, that I'm happy that hopefully I can be a positive feedback loop in somebody else's life, a positive voice that they'll continue to hear my voice in order to overcome whatever it is that's holding them from being as successful as they desire to be. So, and I just want to thank you for that as well, for being that part of that support system.
Oh, definitely. You have a good look. You're confident, and I'll be glad when Loudmouth TV premieres. I'm speaking that into existence of Sunny, the CEO of Loudmouth Radio. I'm telling her right now I'm speaking Loudmouth TV to be on the air soon, and I can see you being on the same level of Dr. Oz and Dr. Field and Susie Organ and all those other folk who preach the same message, that affirmation, think positive thoughts, step out of your comfort zone, challenge your fears, and control that subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and use that power that we all have within us to be all that we can be. And I know it's going to happen, and I'm proud to call you a friend, a son, a mentee, and looking forward to doing some big things with you, man, and continue to preach it, and can't wait to listen to your future shows. And I know you're going to tune into Night Talk with Jay and Sunny as well on Thursdays. So those plugs there for our show. And,
you're ahead of me. I got you on the line there, but I got you.
I call. For your listeners, I always call when I reach out to Roderick. I always say, "Good morning, millionaire. Good afternoon, millionaire." I'm speaking it. I'm speaking into his life, millionaire.
And I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much for calling.
Anytime, bro. I'm listening. Okay. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Roderick, our fellow JL King, my fellow co-host on Night Talk Live, which is broadcasting on Thursdays. And Roderick, he's absolutely right. Loudmouth TV is already actually a live aspect, and we will be cross-sending our radio segmentations over into the Loudmouth TV segment. So that's great, man. You're getting it all wrapped around you, right? I think you have another caller that's ready to say something to you online as well.
Sure. Do we have a little time for that, Sonny?
Yeah, we do.
Oh, great. Okay.
Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes. Good evening. Who is this?
Good evening. This is Coach Trees. Hi, team. Sonny. Hi, JL. Just a small question. You are such an inspiration and so, how should I say this? You are such a gift to others. Can you tell us who has been your inspiration? Who do you look to for comfort on your bad days? And I'll hang up and I'll listen to the answer.
Thank you, Catrice. Good question. Who have been some of my inspirations? I've read James Redfield, Michael Beckwith, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Eckhart Tolle, Oprah, Malcolm X. Man, I'm trying to think. I just got a lot of different things. Martin Luther King, Gandhi. So there have been many aspects that I've drawn from. There's also a famous Japanese. He's the creator of Aikido. His name is Morihei Ueshiba, old sensei, and so I those are just some of the people that I have read or have studied that have developed the person that I am today. And then, I definitely have to also say my mom is probably, it's so funny. We seem to have, when I was younger, I thought we had such different views about the world, but I realized that a lot of how I see the world is because of her, and I'm just so appreciative of that now. So, but yeah, those will be some of the people that have really influenced me in my growth into the man I am today. You're welcome. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Sure. Have a great day.
Please continue to listen.
Hey, Roderick, that was wonderful. I think, that was a good question Teresa asked there in regards to, where do your vitamins come from? One of the things I think we fail to remember is that you only feed your body. A lot of times we only think about the food that we digest, but you have to feed the mind and the spirit and the soul, So, on the online chat, we have quite a few guests that's online listening to us via Facebook, through Twitter, and we really appreciate everybody listening and diving in. And, it's important that people understand that there is information out there, and that's why this show is so important,
Yes, I agree with you, and I just, again, like I said, I just really appreciate this opportunity to be able to just have a voice to speak to people and let them know. I think the one thing that just really makes us distinct in the universe is the fact that we are able to show compassion, and there is so much going on in the world today that if we could just practice extending a little compassion to everybody each day, if that's the one thing that you do, I think you can see how much better your life will be. Even if you're only just able to muster up the energy to extend compassion to one person, each day, I just think you can see great changes within your life. And the reason why I say that is because I just think that you'll hear me a lot, and you're probably going to get tired of it because I'm always going to be referring back to my friends and family. But, I mean, these people really help helped me to become who I am today, and I'm just so appreciative for them and to have them in my life. So all you people out there listening, all my friends and family, please feel free to call in, interject.
And you have another caller that's ready to speak to you too, Roderick.
Oh, great. Okay.
Hey, Rod, this is Charles.
Hey, Charles, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I just came across this on Facebook, and I dialed in. I've been listening to you. You're brilliant as always, man. And I just had a question. The last caller was asking you about some of your influences, some of the people that you take from. And, some of those names that you dropped are just great. I would love to see a list of those names on Facebook for some of us to follow up with. And you kind of touched on the question that I had for you a second ago, and it was about kind of how you integrate some of this into your daily practice. Practicing meditation, yoga. You just mentioned practicing compassion for others. What are other things that you do just kind of on a daily basis to bring about who you are?
Good question, Charles. Thank you. One of the things that I really do that I think a lot of people know me for is just being non-judgmental. I try myself to just accept people for who they are because, I know I'm far from perfect, and I know that I'm continually, I hesitate to say struggle, but I'm continuing to find ways to improve upon where I am. Western society, we're just so big on sin and just discipline and all these things. We're just so, a good friend of mine used to say, we always have to be on. We always have to just be 100% on. You never can be down. You just always have to be perfect. And but what that usually gets us is early retirement because we stressed ourselves out, and we're trying to combat some type of disease or illness from all the stress that we've created in our life. And so just to get back to the point, and your question is really practice being non-judgmental, and not just non-judgmental in regards to other people, but in regards to yourself. We could be so hypercritical of ourselves about we should have done this, all these, we should do all these things. And the truth is, where you are at this particular time is where you need to be. And don't judge yourself about it. Try to find something grateful within that moment, and dwell on that. Dwell on that, and feel the power behind that. So
Perfect.
Hopefully that answers your question.
No, that answers my question. Once again, I think you're a brilliant mind, and you got a beautiful heart, and I'm glad to see you doing this and promoting your message out here. Just thought I'd dial in and support you.
Yeah, that means a lot, Charles. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, take care, bro.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Charles. And Roger, you got someone else that's ready to speak to you, too.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Caller, you're on air.
Roderick, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
This is Kevin calling.
Hey, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I wanted to call and say congratulations on this new endeavor that you're going down. I wasn't able to hear a lot of the show because I just got the link to it so long ago. But, me and you talk all the time, so I think I know your mindset and you know my mindset. And I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate that. That means a lot coming from you. And, yeah, so you'll be okay if I share some of our stories.
Of course, I'm sure. You're pulling a lot from the stuff we talk about, so I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so everybody, this is one of my very close friends. This is Mr. Kevin Jones, and he's just he is a brilliant mind for sure. He helps keep me stable, and he keeps me practical. He keeps me grounded. You have to have those people that just keep it real with you, or keep it 100, as they say, and he definitely does that for me. So I really appreciate you calling in, sir. Thank you.
Oh, most definitely. Whenever we talk and whenever I think I got something figured out, you always seem to challenge me and, as you like to say, play devil's advocate. So, you know, there are times where I'm like, I want to choke you because it ain't the right time. I don't want to hear it, but you make me think, and I want you to continue to do that, and I want you to know that I appreciate that, because sometimes it does get me to, you know, look at things in a way that I hadn't necessarily thought about when I, in my mind, thought I had it all worked out.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. I say it again, mirrors, man, mirrors. It just, you help me, and you help me do the same, so I appreciate that. And I appreciate you calling in. That means the world to me.
Most definitely. I'm sure we'll talk after.
Yes.
All right. Much success. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon, Kevin.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, Roderick. This is great. You got a lot of support out here. You know, there's a lot of people that's thirsty for some of the things that I believe you're touching on, and it's important that it be heard and be discussed.
Yes, and I'm kind of choked up right now. For Charles, thanks for calling in. That meant a lot to me. Kevin calling in means a lot to me. JL, my mentor. I mean, all these people. I had to compose myself for a minute, and I feel like I'm in the right space, you know. And it's just realizing everything happens when it's supposed to happen, and that's okay, and just living in your own truth, as a good friend of mine likes to say. So I'm really just appreciative to hear from all of my callers this evening, and I hope that you guys, this was the intro show, so as we go forward, we'll have other guests, so you just won't just hear me all the time. We'll have guests on here as well, and we'll continue to have the callers call in. One of the things I did want to touch on real quick was that another thing that we will be talking about is emotional mastery or emotional intelligence, and in this show, and we'll be touching on that a lot as well. I hear, a lot of times I think we confuse denial or repression of emotion as emotional mastery, and I'm here to shed light on that as well, and talk about integrating your emotions, not getting rid of them or evolving beyond them. I mean, they're here for a reason, so I think we should evolve with them or evolve into them, take them to new levels, experience new things that you haven't experienced before. So I just, again, everybody who's called in, I want to thank you so much for calling in this evening and just sharing this experience with me.
Absolutely, and it's important to your callers. I know some people mentioned that they dialed in a little bit late, but not to fret. LoudMouthRadio.com. You go to our actual page. You can actually pull any of the shows on demand 24/7. So once we go off air, that show is actually available to be retracted and listened to. You can actually download it in your Windows player. If you have, iPhones, even with Skype, there's just so many aspects in which you can reach and hear this and share this to other people, because, negativity is something that you have to overcome with positivity. So there's so much negativity in the world that you don't have to look for it. But the positivity is sometimes harder to dig deeper and find. So it's very important that people like you is out there and given a platform, because trust me, Roderick, when I tell you that, we know that we got something special when we come together and we sit and talk, and this is the reason why I came to you and said, listen, this is the aspect, and when this came to my mind, you were the first person that was in alignment with it. So I feel very privileged as a producer and as a co-pilot with you, and a friend, and and just a sister. I feel very privy to be on this road with you, And, it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. And I think you've done wonderful tonight, being thrown into the den, in the lion's den.
Yeah.
Oh, my
like
God.
4 days. Well, radio show, let's go.
Yeah, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll have that quick draw McGraw sometimes, but it's been about 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has.
Maybe more since we had this discussion. I came to you about it, but like a champion, you reacted. I unfortunately had a family emergency that came up right in the height of all of this, and my Jail King, Jazzy, and yourself, all you guys are a part of this platform, and everybody's been very patient with me in regards to saying, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to still make it a go, we're going to make it, make it roll. And, with saying that, there's opportunity for people that is in our communities, in our relationships, whether they're personal or business, that can be a part of this, especially if you're an independent owner of a business. There's some advertising opportunities. So there's an opportunity for you to represent somebody's product on air, and they be blessed even further with Roderick Watkins giving the platform of their products or services on air. So, Roderick, I know we're probably about 5 minutes to a point of conclusion. So at this point, if you want to wrap up and kind of introduce your next show. And before I go ahead and get off air, and I'll let you be the last voice that they hear for the evening, we want to let you know that currently we have exciting rates for 15, 30-second spots, as well as premier sponsor rates for advertisement with all three of our shows. And if you go to the website, you'll be able to see, the different personalities. We do have a sophisticated website that we'll be launching that will give even more interactive dialogue and bios and, just some inside things about each one of the hosts and media personalities that are on and a part of Loudmouth Radio Network. And, just be looking out for that on loudmouthradio.com. And we're definitely on Blog Talk Radio, which is just a blessing. We're actually directly on blogtalkradio.com/loudmouthradio. So whenever we're on air, people can call in, they can go online, they can catch up with us via social networking, which is, you can see some of your friends saw that beautiful face. It was like, oh, that's my boy. I got to get online with him. So I'm going to just turn it over to you, Roderick, and I just want to tell you you're a blessing. So feel no fear in regards to this walk. It's been destined for you.
Thank you. I received that, Sonny, so much. And again, thank you, Loudmouth Radio, for having me and hosting me. Again, all my friends, all my close friends, Charles, Kevin, JL, Jazzy.
And you know what? And Roderick, we got somebody else on called in. Looks like it's a California number here. Let's let them come on in and speak to you.
Oh, yeah.
Roderick, this is Eric, man. This is Eric Bram. I just slipped in under the line, I think, man. I just had to say congratulations. And like I said, when we met for that brief time, I knew that there was some energy coming through you, and I just had to step back. I'm glad I was able to link up with you, man. We'll talk offline, but I'm really appreciative. And whoever's listening, this brother, one of the things that I've always remembered, it always stood out to me, is that this guy has a sincere regard for other people and cares just deeply without even knowing you. And that's something I think that comes across, is going to come across in your work. It always has, and hopefully always will. And just whoever's listening, tell a friend, tap in. This is a real cat right here. This is a real brother that cares about everything and everybody, himself included. A lot of times we can forget ourselves in that mix, and he's just working on that evolution. I really appreciate you, bro, and to whoever the sister is that's on the line that's producing the show. I tuned in late, just happened to catch you. Much love. Like I said, we'll talk, and I'll spread the word and try and show that energy and push that message out there so people can tune in and absorb some of the love that you have just for people in general, man, and humanity. I've always appreciated that about you. So with that, I'll check out and let you guys do your thing. Rod, I'll holler at you, man. Peace.
Okay, all right, E. Thank you so much for calling in. Eric, that's great. I appreciate that, and I look forward to our next conversation as well. And again, everybody, my show is Universal Mind at 8 p.m. on every Monday night. So stay tuned, as next week we'll discuss the benefits of meditation and how you can use meditation to help manifest the life of your choosing. This has been a great experience for me. Thank you again to all my callers for coming in, and I hope you stay tuned as our next show, which on Loudmouth Radio, which will be Tuesday night, The Bare Truth, Love, Light, Sex, and Flowers with Jazzy Jones. And then on Thursday nights, we have Night Talk Live with JL and JL King and our producer Sonny. So those are some other good shows as well. And I just want to thank everybody again for tuning in to Universal Mind. This has been Roderick Watkins, and look forward to talking to you soon. Good night.